Hi, Fran. Hi, Jonah. I just wanted to show you what I've been working on. Here's my front porch, aka the potting shed. And I started some seeds in the winter, maybe January, February, so I've been working on that. Working on getting them all planted. Like through here, I planted a bunch of caladiums and they're just now starting to come up. And back there is Abelia, and it has done wonderfully because I haven't killed it. It's lived. And it blooms, and the bees love it. And I went to a native plant sale, and I got something on my wish list. This American beauty bush, and I think it's a beautyberry bush. And then here is a coralberry, and I want that to grow up under the elm and oak trees out there and be undercover, or what do you call that? It grows under the trees, right? I'm Jonah. This is a Mexican plum. Remember when we used to pick plums in May and make jelly? And so I'm so excited. I finally have one. Now, I planted here. I don't have a whole lot of hope. I think I probably planted them too late, and plus it's Texas, so all cool loving flowers hate us, you know. But those are sweet peas, so we'll see how they do. Now this one right there, I have great expectations for. It's a snapdragon vine, and I want to try to train it to grow up here. I haven't wired anything up there yet. And these are just some wild violets that I dig up and bury in the shade behind the bird bath. That's just an old pot. This is so funny. Silas planted that, and I didn't have the heart to pull it up. You know, it's kind of in the way, but that's okay. And that's an Eden rose, and I want it to grow and take over the whole door and swallow people. But it'll be a while till it's established, and that trellis is too small for it and out of scale, so it's probably going to go soon. Now right through here I had Texas sage growing, and it never thrived. Just 2 years ago I planted it, and then also right here I planted butterfly bush, and it gets full sun. This faces the south, but it was just miserable, and it pouted for 2 years, and it took me that long to figure out, I think my yard is too wet. Like, see how we're on a slope, and then we're at the bottom of a hill, and those plants like dry feet. Anyway, and I wanted some evergreen right there, and I wanted maybe something native, and I just researched and overthought, and I just finally gave up. And you know what? We're going to go sunshine ligustrum, and you know, I think they'll be pretty. I love chartreuse, anything. Now, Fran, you have to have this plant, this Gara. Oh my goodness, it has turned out to be an evergreen for me. It thrives, and it looks pretty all year long. I trimmed it in the winter, and I didn't have the heart to throw away the trimming, so I just stuck them in the ground to see what would happen. And they all rooted, so now I have like 30 Gara plants. Anyway, I just love it. It's such a pretty flower, and in a breeze they're billowy and just wispy, and I just love it. If you live for me in Texas and don't die, then I really love you. Now this alyssum is so funny. I planted that like 2 years ago, and it has been an evergreen. Like, it blooms in the winter, and I trimmed it back just to see if I could get some new growth, and I didn't have the heart to shear the whole thing. Anyway, I just love that. That's going to be one of my all-time most favorite plants. It just looks pretty all year round for me. This is a purple coneflower. Silas and I planted some strawberries in here. I don't care if I get strawberries or not. I just planted them kind of for ground cover and just fun for him. That's a daylily. I think what I'm going to do, I've got all this space. I'm going to put some spirea in there, I think, or I mean, I still haven't decided. I overthink things and paralyze myself. Anyway, I love this plant, this firewitch dianthus, and I don't think it's happy here either. I think it's too wet, and I have this, some thin mulch here, and the pill bugs are getting in there, and it really upsets me. But I think I'm gonna have to move it too. But this rose, this Cinco de Mayo rose, I've wanted for years, and I finally got one. It's not gonna get too big, I think it'll be a good size right there for the window. I wanted thorny things in front of the windows, and I didn't want to put any shrubs back there because I want this to have room. But I just stuck some mealy sage. I think it's a Texas native, and oh, my hands are dirty. Anyway, when the rose bush starts getting bigger, I'll probably move those, but those will fill in. And this is so funny here. You can tell how well I thought this through, but my hose goes right through iris and a daylily, and so I've just been leaving the hose out because every time I'd get the hose out, I would knock that stuff over. I'm gonna have to move that, I think. Now this plant right here, friend, this has been an evergreen for me too, and I absolutely love it because the butterflies, the hummingbird comes and sees it all day long, and it's an evergreen for me. And I planted it small, and look, it's gotten huge, so it's like a shrub, and I want that because whenever I go to the nursery, all the shrubs are just so boring, and I can't stand it. So I really like this. And this right here, oh my goodness, I call it Satan's ivy. It is Carolina snailweed, and I pull it every day. Another strawberry. There's a beet Silas and I planted, and now that rose right there is Amazing Grace, I think. And there's some spinach back there, and that's lantana. And there was some bare dirt, so Silas and I just threw some lettuce seeds down, and my irises are almost done blooming, but this gold one came out of Allison's old 130-year-old house that I love it. I think it's probably from the 1930s. I don't know. I looked it up, but I can't remember. And this is another old one right here. But I got them from the neighbor up the street. They sold their house and moved away. They were an elderly couple. And not a developer. What do you call those people that come in and redo the whole house? They were going to rip out the flower bed, and I said, no, let me come dig out as much as I can. So I saved a bunch of these iris. I mean, I saved so many bulbs that I just don't even have enough places to plant them. But here's a vitex tree, and more lettuce that Silas and I planted. And here's the cannas that you didn't want, that I don't know what I'm going to do with. And that right there, I believe it's a Itea, right? Sweet Spire. It's a native, and I have been wanting one of those for years. It's been on my list, and they're really hard to find. And it's supposed to be a wonderful pollinator, and it also has fall color. It's deciduous, I believe, but I just love it, and I'm so excited to finally have it. I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to move all that. That little bird bath, we just got it in a estate sale. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. But here's some penstemon and cedar sage. But the penstemon, I've already seen the hummingbirds come for it. And I just love it. And I planted it with some columbine. And right here, I think I'm going to put like a mahonia. What do you call those? Yeah. Because they're real spiky. And I want, spiky things by the windows. So I'm going to plant one right there. Now, this pecan tree is too close to the house, and it's going to come down. And that pecan tree is too close, and it's going to come down. And back behind there is bamboo and juniper. No, not juniper. Oh, I'll think of it in a minute. It blooms and smells wonderful in May. But it's invasive, and I can't get rid of it. Here's more columbine. Okay, here is an old railing that came out of Florida College, and I asked them what they were going to do with it, and they said throw it away, and I'm like, I'll take it. So they threw it down from the second floor, and it's bent. But I don't have the heart to get rid of it, you know, because it came from Florida College. Now here's black-eyed Susan vine, and there's another snapdragon vine. And, you know, I'm just trying to just grow stuff, you know. It doesn't have to look pretty this year. Now this I'm embarrassed about because it's so ugly, but I can't figure out what to do. I overthink things, you know, and it's the east, it faces east, and it gets full morning sun, and then it's shaded from noon on. I really was thinking hydrangeas, but, you know, they're so moody in Texas, but also this soil is more, maybe more wet, and I thought they might do well here. I don't know. I'm still thinking it through. But in the meantime, I just bought some seed potatoes and choked them in the dirt to see what would happen. And I hope that there's some potatoes in there. And this is really funny now. I in an effort to improve my soil, I guess I kind of built up a compost pile. Like, I was trying to kill some of that Carolina snailweed out. So I put a bunch of cardboard down there, and grass clippings and coffee, and then I covered it with hay, and there are a billion earthworms in there, and it's the best compost I've ever seen. This right here, I'm gonna put like a walkway here, but I need more rocks, and I have to do all the hauling myself, so I'm still thinking it through, but it's going to be pretty. I think it's going to be a project maybe when I'm done planting everything. But I put cardboard down to kill some of this weed stuff, this just grass, and then I've got this Japanese, I can't think what you call it, honeysuckle. And, I mean, while it would be beautiful for pollinators, it's an invasive, and I just can't, I've got so much to take care of that sometimes I think I'm just going to let it grow. But I would probably live to regret that, right? Anyway. And now see here, this hackberry tree grew right through the fence, and I don't know how I'm going to get that out. You know, when we bought the house, it was built in 1964, and is in really beautiful condition on the inside, but the yard has been awful, and I've been fighting it for 3 years, and I'm doing better. But this poor rose bush, I got it from Antique Rose Emporium, and it is being eaten alive by, I believe, thrips. So I'm working on that right now. I just put some nematodes down, and I've been spraying it with some neem. Oh, it just upsets me terribly. You work so hard on something. Anyway, but I'm just glad that it's still alive. It's not dead. It's not happy, but it's still alive. We can work with that. And I planted society garlic. That was on my wish list. This bloom flower, I just stuck there. That's a good pollinator plant. And then this salvia orchid glow. Oh, my hands are filthy. I'm so sorry. I planted some marigolds. I'm not a real big marigold fan, but, you know. Look at that. What is that? Anyway. Now, friend, this right here, when we were in Ingram, I don't know if you remember, but the field across the street from our house on 3rd Street was covered in wine cup. And I got this plant a couple of weeks ago, and I planted it in full sun, and it was just being cooked, and it was not happy. So I moved it over here where it'd get morning sun and afternoon shade, and it's a little bit happier. But maybe by next year it'll be established and happy. But here I just planted a bunch of zinnias. This is just temporary until I can afford some more perennials and maybe some shrubs or something, bushes. Lots of zinnias. Now my salvia has really done great. Well, some of it has done great. Not all of it, but you know what, that's okay. I think we're supposed to plant a little bit extra for the birds and bugs and bees, so I'll share. But just stay away from my Bailey Rose. Oh my goodness, I saw this at Antique Rose Emporium and I just had to have it. It's called Bailey Rose, and it's got little blooms on it, buds on it, so hopefully by the end of the week. It's supposed to rain all week. I don't know. I hope everything lives. There's some parsley, and there's delphinium. Now, I don't know if that's going to do well here, but I'm going to try. You know, Texas is so hot, and we have hard summers. And I planted hollyhock back there. Ooh, look at the shadow. But I have low expectations for that. Again, it's just so hot. I planted like a chive border, and that's going to be real pretty. There's marigold, and then this is like gomphrena, and it gets these little red balls, and it'll be pretty. But maybe you can help me think it through. Okay, see, like here's the front of the house. Now, when we bought this house, nothing existed except for bamboo and that wax myrtle and that creeping Carolina snail seed vine, and just, oh my gosh. You know, I guess the realtor put like 5 stinky boxwoods right there, and that's all there was. So we put all this in, well, except for the trees. So in 3 years, it's never ending, but we're going to do that little patio there soon, but I had to get everything in the ground while it's still cool. You know, you don't want to plant too late in Texas. Now this tree right here, the poor little thing, bless its heart, I really hate it because it's so ugly. And it's, oh my goodness, it's a fruitless mulberry. Now it's really ugly and I hate it, but the fun thing about it are the roots, and it's kind of magical, and I hide things in there for Silas, and we kind of play that, you know. There's just fairies in there. It's fun. I hide dinosaurs in there for him. Now this has been wonderful. I guess a lot of people call it a weed, but I think it's beautiful that it's kind of like I wouldn't say chartreuse, but it's just a lighter green, and that color flower, it just lightens up a bed that's heavy on the green. But that really does well for me. Okay, now this is what I've worked really hard on for about 2 months now, and it's not pretty yet. But you know how much I hate my fence, and we cannot afford to replace it. One day. Okay, so I thought, you know what? I'm just going to embrace it, and I'm going to grow stuff on it. So here I have like a little phlox there, and there's some lemon thyme, and this is funny. I trimmed a butterfly bush, and again, like I was telling you, I don't like to throw stuff away. You know, sticks. So I stuck it in the dirt, and here I've got like 12 butterfly plants. So I guess I'm happy with that. And there's some stuff that I planted. I think that's salvia. I can't remember, and I don't have the heart to pull that. That can stay. I think these are royal velvet petunias. They're supposed to mound, and then these are Picasso. And there's some creeping phlox, and I can't believe these little violas are still doing so well this late in the year. Even I need to get in here and deadhead them, but and there's a forsythia. I've been wanting one for about 20 years, and finally I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. So I found one and I planted it, and there's some like purple zinnias. I'm excited about those. And there's some salvia. Oh my goodness, I overplanted the salvia, and every daggum one of them like sprouted. And I don't know, I'm tired of planting them, and I've run out. Gosh, it has kept me busy. This little here, this is like a Blackfoot daisy. This is like a Texas native. Oops. And then this right here, I really wanted to find some native verbena, but I saw this and I had to have it because it's really hard to find apricot and peach flowers. And there's just some little phlox that I've planted, and Oh, I'm trying to remember this. Is this Coreopsis? Oh, there's a bee. Come on, you gonna fill it? That was the plan. I'm trying to fill this area up with pollinator plants, you know, for bees and butterflies, and I think I never can. I always have to stop and think Coreopsis. Yes. Now this right here is my favorite plant. It's blue mist, and it'll spread real bad, but that's okay because see, you can spread all the way down there, baby. But it's beautiful. I love it. It's like a really wispy, billowy, kind of romantic flower, and it's just covered with butterflies, and it's just so pretty. It's a real pretty blue. And here's more marigolds, and I don't like marigolds, but okay, you know, it's not really up to me. I guess it's whatever the bees and butterflies want. And now this, I hope I don't regret, but I planted some 4 o'clocks because Grandma used to grow them, and I hear that they reseed really bad and they're hard to get rid of, but you know, the pollinators love them, and they're supposed to be salmon colored flowers, so pray for me, okay? I hope I don't regret that. Okay, more Blackfoot daisy, and it's already dropping some seeds. And they're right there. So one of the things I'm trying to grow over this fence is a Peggy Martin rose, and I'm so proud of her. She's doing great. There's a story why my yard is so weedy. I'll get to that in a minute. Let's see, that's more Lytris. And this is another purple coneflower. And, oh, look at the bees. That makes me so happy. This one doesn't look really happy, but I hope it'll perk up. And I just planted this yesterday, so it's gonna perk up. It'll be happy, I promise. But that's more Gara. And, this is like a lemon, is it lemon sage? And butterfly bush. And now this is so funny. This is the white flower mist here. No, white mist flower. And I got 3 of them at a native plant sale. And Lisa was out here with me yesterday, and she stepped on it and broke it. And I was so upset. I was like, "You big ox, you killed my plant." And but you know, she was really sorry, and I forgave her because she couldn't help it. She just wanted to be near me. Bless her heart. And there's another Lytris, and then that Cosmos. Oh, the bees just love it. And I want to plant more. I've got some orange Cosmos. I've got to get in here and clear that. We're supposed to get like a week of rain, so maybe the soil will be soft. I don't know. There's just, I wish I could film that, but I mean, it's just covered with these tiny little bees. Is that more Coreopsis? Okay, this is my most favorite plant ever. I want 30 of these, I swear. It's black and blue salvia, and I love it. That chartreuse, and then this black and blue. Oh my gosh. I did not know I was going to love it this much. It's just beautiful. Now, and then, I don't know like the scientific name for this, but it's the yellow buttercup Fran. You know, we have down in the Texas native wildflowers, and then that's some blue flax back there. I just planted these yesterday, so hopefully they'll perk up. I hope our coming rain doesn't kill it. And no, this is black-eyed Susan there, and then my rosemary bush. I want to get some more shrubbery for this area. Oh, it smells so good. But these little hackberry bushes are not bushes, but they're trees, and they're just awful. And they grow up in my. It's a constant battle with that, and then that snail seed, and I'm just out here constantly taking care of it. Now this is skullcap. It's a good pollinator, native, but I hear it spreads, and I'm totally okay with that again because I want pretty things that spread. There's my bamboo. It does not bring me joy. Skullcap might bring me some joy, right? And then yesterday I planted this dill, and I've got a pill bug problem. I think it'll live. But here is milkweed and another milkweed, and here I planted like it's bronze leaf fennel, and it's a perennial and it's supposed to get pretty big, but I thought it was interesting because it's going to be bronzy, you know, and I thought that'll be a nice color when you're trying to fill your yard up with some color. Let me take you here real quick. Now, there's some evening primrose down there, but I'm not going to walk that far. Okay, now here's the bamboo. Now, when we first moved here, like, all this was covered with bamboo. All this. And, now, and the bamboo went right up there to where that tree, right there, on the other side of it, right about there. And so, I have cut it down, and, you know, there's been times when friends have helped us, but we just keep it cleared, and it keeps, you know, it keeps trying to come back, but it's weakened. You know, it's not weakened back there, but it's so funny. Dean and I, what we do, like I was trying to plant yesterday, and I ran into a root. So with the coming rains, what I'll do, we get this hoist, I guess, and we put it up in the branches, and we put the chain to the root, and we just flip the switch and pull the bamboo right up, and it saves our back, and it really gets it done it's amazing. I wish we would have thought of it sooner, because we spent years pulling up this stuff by hand or just cutting it down. Okay, and here, this is funny. I want to tell you this story. Now, I guess whoever had the property before us, they were trying to control the bamboo too, so they thought it would be a good idea to put down, you know, about a foot of gravel. Like all through the yard is covered in rocks. So, and then there's been times when we're digging in the yard and I find chain link fence buried in the dirt. And I don't know, I guess they were trying to control it with the chain link fence too on the ground. But, okay, so the point of that is, what I'm trying to explain is that this is full sun, so I wanted to have a garden here. But, you know, it was just so bad full of gravel and everything. And so, I guess 2 years ago, we put down a dump truck full of mulch all over the backyard. And then this winter, I thought, oh, I'm going to put down a cover crop. That'll be great. So, and it bloomed beautifully, and it was really sweet to watch, you know, the insects on it. And I was rooting for it because it's putting all kinds of good stuff in my soil and helping me build soil. And the neighbors would drive by, and they're like, oh, we love your yellow flowers. And I didn't have the heart to tell them, oh, they're weeds. But the mustard weed looked really pretty. Okay. So I started feeling bad, and I thought, I'll go ahead and mow before I get a ticket. And I did one pass through here, and there were a billion ladybugs and larvae everywhere. And I was like, I can't do it. I can't kill ladybugs. So now, all over my yard, everywhere, there's ladybugs everywhere. And it just makes me so happy. And I hope they'll stay and not go somewhere else, because I need their help. I've got aphids, and I've got I want them here. I worked hard to get you, now you stay with me. Anyway, so this is what I've been doing, Franny. And if you've got any plants to share with me, that'd be great. I'd take them. Or you can come help me if you want. But I'm not going to come help you because you wouldn't take my cannas. And I don't know what I'm going to do with them now. Anyway, I hope you like what you see, and hope you can see how hard we've worked. I mean, I'll never stop. I think this yard will probably be the death of me, and that's okay. That's how I'd like to go. Working in the yard. Well, I love you, Franny. And God bless you. Be blessed and be a blessing to others. And get Hayden to come mow for me. Love you.